You probably already know by now that DFW Honda in Grapevine, Texas is going to be giving away this 2025 50th Anniversary Edition Honda Goldwing Tour DCT. But what you may not know are some of the accessories that we've added to this motorcycle.
This video is sponsored by Traxxion Dynamics and by DFW Honda, your powerhouse Honda dealership in Grapevine, Texas.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Cruiseman's Garage, and today I want to not only thank DFW Honda for sponsoring this contest. It's a drawing that you can enter to win this 2025 Honda Goldwing. Now later in the video I will tell you what you need to do to register for a chance to win this Honda Goldwing. Today what I want to talk about are some products that I've added from Traxxion Dynamics. Now when DFW Honda first approached me with the idea of adding some accessories to this giveaway bike, I knew immediately one of the first things I wanted to make sure this motorcycle had was the traction engine guard. Traxxion Dynamics is kind of known, they have a reputation for making top quality suspension components for the Honda Goldwing, and they do it for other motorcycles as well. But in the Honda Goldwing world, they're kind of known as the place you go if you want the very best suspension. Now, we did not put upgraded suspension components on this giveaway bike. That would have been a little too time consuming for me, and I'm not sure I even have the skill set to do it. But what we did do is put another very important product on this motorcycle that I am a firm believer in, and that is the traction engine guard. Now, this is basically it's a pretty thick aluminum plate that fits underneath your engine. There are certain parts of the crankcase that are exposed to the roadway. So if you hit any road debris, or maybe just a rock, or maybe you go off of a curb, or perhaps you hit a pothole that you can't see, and if anything impacts the bottom of your engine, there's a very good likelihood that it could do very expensive damage. I'll tell you a personal story that happened to me on my 2012 Honda Goldwing. I hit some road debris going about 60 miles an hour. And as soon as I looked in the rearview mirror, all I could see was smoke. It's a miracle I didn't go down, but I didn't. It was a big chunk of metal in the middle of the road. It did about $12,000 worth of damage to my engine. Now, I was lucky. My insurance covered it. It was all paid for. However, I was without a motorcycle to ride for about 2 months while they underwent all the repairs. The one thing I would recommend anybody with a 6th generation Goldwing, 2018 to 2025, have on their motorcycle, don't leave the dealership or as soon as you get home, install the traction engine guard to protect your engine. So I'm a firm believer in the traction engine guard. Now I've tested a lot of different belly pans and engine guards, and any belly pan or engine guard is better than none. But the Traxxion is, in my opinion, the top of the line. It's the best of the best, and that's what I wanted for this giveaway bike. So if you are fortunate enough to win this motorcycle, you're not going to have to worry about that. You're going to have the best protection money can buy on this bike. Now, in addition to the engine guard that we added a few other little Traxxion accessories that really are just more convenience related. They just make it nice to have. I'm going to show you now what I did to install the engine guard, and then we're going to talk about the couple of other little things that we added to this bike just to make it a little extra special.
Okay, so we've got our front bracket, which goes in like this. They have marked it, so it's pretty hard to screw it up. It tells you that this is the outside front, just in case you get confused. And it's going to go up here like this. So we need to remove this bolt and the one on the right side. So we're removing the right side, removing the left side. We're going to leave that center bolt. And these are 12 millimeter. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get to it from over here. If not, I'll change sides. I would save these bolts. You don't want to throw them away. Just make sure you keep them in a Ziploc bag somewhere and go ahead and mark them as the front bolts. I'm just going to hold this little wire out of the way. Okay, first bolt is out. It goes over that center bolt like that. And then we're using, these are the shorter of the 4 bolts. There's 2 short, 2 long. These are the shorter of the 4 bolts. And these are Allen key, so they're much, much easier to deal with. I'm going to go ahead and put this other one in over here. And they are knurled, makes them a little easier to get past all of that. Let me move that wire out of the way. Little sensor wire. Now I'm not going to completely tighten these. We're going to leave just a little bit of slack until we get our plate mounted. So if we look on the rear of the bike, you're going to see similarly 3 bolts. And these have on this bike anyway, this is the center bolt. We are not removing that. And this is the left side bolt. You'll notice it's right here next to the DCT filler on a DCT model. So I don't know about a manual transmission, you wouldn't be able to use that as a guide, but on DCT, you look for this little cover, and that's where your 3 bolts are. So we're going to remove these 2, the left side and the right side outside bolts. And now we've got this is the rear bracket, and it tells you exactly where it's going to go. Rear, outside, and we're now using the longer of the 4 bolts, 2 of the longer bolts. And again, I'm only going to hand tighten these for now. Just a little bit of slop in there. So I'm going to cheat. I have a scissor jack, and I'm going to use it. I highly recommend everybody have one of these. I'll put a link in the description of the video if you're interested. Basically, what I'm going to do is I am going to set the traction plate on top of that scissor jack. And you want the label, there's a label on here, a patent label, that goes up. That's the top of the bracket, and I'm just going to kind of set it on there like that. And then I'm going to raise that up. Just going to use my scissor jack until I get it into position, and it'll hold it in place while I get my little screws in. These are the little screws, the 4mm screws that hold it into place. And you can see it's a little bit too far back. So let me adjust it. I'll move it up here a little bit. Now I'm going to get on the ground, and you can see I can just set it right where I want it. Now that I've got those screws in, I'm going to go ahead and tighten up this front bracket.
Off camera, I also used a 4mm socket to tighten those 4 screws.
It's a 6mm, the wrong socket.
I do have a video on YouTube showing how I installed this, and a very lengthy video in my Goldwing maintenance video series showing the installation of this engine guard. Here I bumped my camera and you can't see the entire process, but I am putting in the 4mm screws in the rear of this engine guard and then lightly tightening those. You don't want to over tighten these little 4mm screws. The 6mm screws that hold the brackets onto the engine, you definitely want to firmly tighten those. And here you can see how the mounted engine guard completely covers the entire bottom of the engine case. Another handy little tool that Traxxion Dynamics donated to this project is their dipstick extender. You'll notice here, this is the plastic dipstick cap that comes with the Honda Goldwing, and you have to basically get into a very cramped space. If you have a large hand, it's not easy. Plus, if the engine is hot or warm when you're checking the oil, you can kind of burn your hand. It's really a bad design. Traxxion has engineered a nice solution for this. They came up with a dipstick extender. You can install it in about 5 minutes. It goes right on the end of the existing dipstick. You can see it here. This is something everybody should add to their Goldwing, and it makes getting the dipstick out much easier. You don't have to worry about burning your hands. It's a great little tool. And while we're on the subject of extenders, you can see how the positive battery terminal on the Goldwing is kind of hidden up underneath the left saddlebag. It's very difficult to get to should you ever need to jump start the battery. Well, Traxxion Dynamics has come up with a solution for that. They offer a battery terminal extender, and you can add this to both the positive and the ground if you want to. But I'm definitely going to put one on the positive terminal. That way, whoever wins this motorcycle, should they ever have to jump start the bike, it'll be much easier to get those alligator clips over the positive terminal. And of course, we added the Traxxion Dynamics kickstand pad, which gives you more surface area, keeps your kickstand from digging into hot asphalt or gravel. So you may be asking, how do you register for a chance to win this bike? Well, I'm going to put a link in the description of this video. Make sure you check it out. In the description, there will be a link where it will take you to the registration form on the DFW Honda website. Now, DFW Honda is the powerhouse dealer in Grapevine, Texas. They're one of the largest dealers in the state of Texas, and they are giving this motorcycle away. We're going to have the drawing on May 31st. If you're in this area, please come out to DFW Honda on that Saturday. That's where we're going to be drawing a name at random from all of those of you who have registered through the website. You can only register once, but that's okay. Everybody's going to have an equal chance to win this motorcycle. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to sign up for anything. Now, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Click that little subscribe button down below. Don't forget the notification bell. That way YouTube will let you know when we come out with new videos. I've got a couple more videos where I'm going to talk about some of the other accessories I've added from other companies, and we will be releasing those very shortly, so make sure you're subscribed so you'll get notified of those videos. Thank you to DFW Honda for sponsoring the giveaway bike, and thank you to Traxxion Dynamics for also sponsoring this giveaway. And until the next time in my next video, remember what I always say: ride often, but ride safe.